Since ancient times, gold has been used as a form of money. This led to the establishment of the gold standard. The gold standard was used a lot in the 19th and 20th centuries. If the gold price rises significantly over the coming months and years, the balance of economic power could shift dramatically. Hence, there's really nothing shocking about countries storing gold. But the amounts and which nations are atop the list of gold holders may surprise you. So in this video, we're going to talk about the top 10 countries with the largest gold reserves in 2023. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. Number 10. United States of America, 8,133 tons. The nation with the most gold reserves is, unsurprisingly, the USA. Their total is by far the largest of all the nations, holding 8,133 tons more than second-place Germany. But this total is subject to concerns and criticism. The first problem is accuracy. Documents pertaining to the authenticity of gold bullion held in New York and at Fort Knox have either gone missing or been destroyed. Rules introduced in 1974 were supposed to mean a one-time check of all of America's bullion, but gold has been found to have been accessed and potentially tampered with since that inspection. The second is the consideration of foreign gold holdings. The US, like Britain, France, and Switzerland, has often been a safe haven for gold bullion reserves in times of civil or national conflict. There are those who believe that America's reserve total also includes Germany's national gold reserves, amongst others, which until repatriation in 2013 were held in New York. The final part is purity. With much of the US gold reserves from older acquisitions, some experts believe the United States holdings are not fine quality bullion, and that, were they melted down and remade into 24-karat bars, the total holding would come down dramatically. By population, the United States of America is the third largest country in the world, behind China and India. Its most populous states are California with a population of 39.5 million, and Texas with a population of 28.7 million. Its economy would be the 8th largest in the world, with roughly the same GDP as Italy, a European country of 61 million people. Number 9. Germany, 3,359 tons. In 2017, Germany completed a 4-year repatriation operation to move a total of 674 tons of gold from the Banque de France and the Federal Reserve Bank of New York back to its own vaults. First announced in 2013, gold demand fell in 2017 after hitting an all-time high in 2016. This European country has seen gold investing steadily rise since the global financial crisis. Number 8. Italy, 2,452 tons. Italy has also maintained the size of its reserves over time, and President Mario Draghi of the European Central Bank, or ECB, has backed it up. Like the other Eurosystem national central banks, the Bank of Italy manages Italy's official reserves as well as a portion of the ECB's, or NCB's. The Bank of Italy is in charge of the country's official foreign currency and gold reserves. After the US Federal Reserve, the Dutch Bundesbank, and the International Monetary Fund, the Bank of Italy holds the world's 4th largest gold reserves. The bank's gold is 2,452 tons, mostly in bars, 95,493, but with a few coins thrown in for good measure. Number 7. France, 2,436 tons. Former President of France, Charles de Gaulle, was partially responsible for the collapse of the Bretton Woods system when he called the US's bluff and began actually trading dollars in for gold from the Fort Knox reserves. Then President Richard Nixon, who knew that the fixed rate of $35 per gold ounce was too low, eventually was forced to take the US off the gold standard, ending the dollar's automatic convertibility into gold. Before we move on, support us by hitting subscribe and the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. Now let's get back to our topic. Number 6. Russia, 2,299 tons. For the past 7 years, the Russian central bank has been the largest gold buyer, surpassing China to become the 5th largest gold reserve holder in 2018. This is an interesting case, as Russia had reportedly been shoring up its gold reserves for years prior to its invasion of Ukraine. Russia's gold, which is stored in vaults located in Moscow and elsewhere in the country, was worth around $140 billion during the early stages of the Ukraine invasion. It might be speculated that Russia had built up its gold supply years in advance, in anticipation of the invasion of Ukraine. The idea, apparently, would be to insulate Russia from the impact of sanctions that would diminish the value or usability of the ruble. Then there's the question of how Russia could sell its gold if it wished to do so. It's been speculated that, even as some nations impose sanctions on Russian gold, the country could still sell its gold to China, India, and/or Kazakhstan. Number 5. China, 1,948 tons. In the summer of 2015, the People's Bank of China began sharing its gold purchasing activity on a monthly basis for the first time since 2009. In December, the renminbi joined the dollar, euro, yen, and pound as one of the International Monetary Fund's reserve currencies, an expected move that required the Asian country to beef up its gold holdings. The precious metal represents only 2.2% of its foreign reserves, so it's probably safe to expect more heavy buying moving forward. And in April, China, the world's largest gold producer, introduced a new renminbi-denominated gold fix in its quest for greater pricing power. Number 4. Switzerland, 1,040 tons. Switzerland's love of gold is no secret, and the Swiss National Bank's hoard of 1,040 tons solidifies the nation's spot as a top 10 gold holder. Switzerland is widely believed to have the world's largest per capita gold reserve. There was even some controversy as Switzerland reportedly imported gold from Russia in May. Russia is a large-scale bullion producer, while Switzerland is the world's biggest refining and transit center for gold. Customs data indicates that in May, Switzerland received a whopping 3.1 tons of gold, valued at approximately $200 million from Russia. According to the Federal Office for Customs and Border Security, the import of gold from Russia into Switzerland is not prohibited by the Ordinance on Measures relating to the situation in Ukraine. On the other hand, the export of gold to Russia is prohibited by the existing sanctions regime. So there may be debate over whether Switzerland's purchase of gold from Russia violates the terms and/or spirit of European sanctions on Russia. Number 3. Japan, 846 tons. Japan remains unchanged in both its position in this rankings list and based on how much gold bullion it currently holds in reserve. Japan's gold reserves are approximately 2% of its total reserves. The country is in an odd situation where its traditional policy to regularly buy gold was halted in 2011 following the Fukushima nuclear disaster. The country sold gold reserves to help stabilize the economy in the wake of the incident and hasn't really picked up where it left off. Another point to consider is the Japanese yen. This is a safe haven asset in its own right, along with gold, treasury bonds, and the US dollar. If anyone were to not need huge amounts of gold in reserve, it would be the creator of a rival safe haven asset. Number 2. India, 754 tons. It's no surprise that the Bank of India has one of the largest stores of gold in the world. The South Asian country, home to 1.25 billion people, is the second largest consumer of precious metals and is one of the most reliable drivers of global demand. India's festival and wedding season, which runs from October to December, has historically been a huge boon to gold's love trade. Number 1. Netherlands, 612 tons. The Dutch Central Bank has stated that its gold reserves will be relocated from Amsterdam to Camp Nou Amsterdam, located approximately an hour outside of the city. Since the bank has just returned a substantial portion of its gold from the United States, this, as has been pointed out by others, appears unusual. So that's it. Please like, share, and comment your thoughts below if you liked this video. Remember to subscribe to see our next video. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.